Hey everybody, it is Professor Parish and we are on week 4 of English 109. This semester is going by very quickly. We are at the halfway point. So you made it! You made it to the halfway point. Isn't that exciting? We're halfway done with the class. So this week is a very busy week and I know it's a holiday weekend and I know that you'll have Monday off probably, but I do want to go ahead and let you know that everything is due Sunday the 3rd. So if you need to work this week on assignments, I would make time to work this week because I know that everybody has plans. You want to go spend time with family and friends, things like that. So try to do these assignments over the week so that you have that weekend free and you're not scrambling on July 3rd to get all these assignments done because I know everybody probably wants to enjoy their weekend. So we do have several assignments. We have 5 due this week, so there's quite a bit to get done. Not necessarily that they're hard, but they are assignments that will take some time. So let's go ahead and talk about the Module 4 guide. So if I click on this, I do have an example of a compare and contrast paper on here, which is right here. So if you did want to see an example of a brief compare and contrast paper, you can see this. It's not complete, which is a problem, but this was also done like 7 years ago. So you can kind of see the beginnings of this paper. It's not the full 3 pages, but I wanted to go ahead and show you it just because it's a nice example of the beginnings of a good compare and contrast paper. And you can see it's not totally completed yet, right? So there's that. In our English skills textbook, there's chapter 6 and chapter 12, which is going over pages 152 to 190 and 259, 277. So just kind of skim over those. And then we have our assignments for this week that are listed down below. Our discussion forum, the midterm exam, which I'll go over, submitting your compare and contrast essay, and then your grammar and textbook activities. So let's look at the discussion forum for this week. It's all about comparing and contrasting. So if I go ahead and click on this link here, I'm going to bring it up here and kind of show y'all what it looks like. Okay. So this video is going to be talking about a review of 2 pop songs. So there's this guy, he's called Todd in the Shadows. He is pretty well known on YouTube. He does music reviews. So he has like a degree in music history. And so he basically talks about similarities and dissimilarities between music. And he usually focuses on things that are more modern. This video is a little dated. It's like 5 years old. So it's a pretty old video by YouTube standards. But it's comparing and contrasting the songs Thunder by Imagine Dragons and Feel It Still by Portugal the Man, which those 2 songs don't seem like they have a lot in common, but as he compares and contrasts them, there are a lot of similarities with the songs and a lot of differences. So I want you to watch this video. It's not very long. It's only like 10 minutes. It's pretty short. But Todd in the Shadows, he does have a very dry sense of humor. So his humor is either going to work for you or it's not. I think he's hilarious, but I also have a pretty dry sense of humor as well. So you're going to watch that video. And then after watching it and reading chapter 12, which is on compare and contrast, you're going to answer these 3 questions. Question 1, are there any noticeable similarities between the 2 songs that Todd talks about in his videos? Which do you like better and why? Question 2, what are the most significant differences between the 2 songs that Todd compares and contrasts in his video? And finally, what was the overall thesis and opinion from Todd about these 2 songs? Do you agree or disagree with him? So you're just answering these 3 kind of opinionated questions about the video, but that is our discussion forum for week 4. The midterm exam is kind of our halfway point, talking about what we know so far from our textbook about different grammar and mechanics and about writing. So it's worth 50 points. It is not timed. As long as you get it done by Sunday, July 3rd, you have all week to work on it. You can work on it all week. You just can't submit it only but once. So once you start it, you can work all week on the test. You just can only submit it one time. So I'll go ahead and show you what the midterm looks like. So on my end, I can click preview. So there's not a lot of questions to the midterms. There's actually only 17 questions. You'll notice they're worth a lot of points each. That's how they add up to 50. So like, for example, question 1, what are the 3 most common purposes of writing according to chapter 1 in our textbook? And you'll list those and define them. And so on and so forth. So some of the questions are worth 2 points. Some are worth 3 points. Like, what does the term revising mean? What are the 2 stages in the revising process? And you'll list them here. Some are worth 10 points. Like, what are the 5 writing techniques in chapter 2? List and define them. and then some are worth 2 points again. So you're just going to go through here. There's a couple that are multiple choice that you can answer, but most of them are short answer. All right, and you'll just kind of go through and answer those. Okay? And then when you get to the bottom, there's a little thing that says submit quiz, and you can submit it when you're all done. But you can work on this as long as you like. And so you can it'll tell you how long you've worked on it. You can keep editing the quiz. You can go back and come back to it, whatever you want to do. As long as once you hit that submit button though, it is submitted and you cannot go back and change anything. So only click this when you are finished with the entire quiz, okay? And if you accidentally click submit, I'm not going to go let you go back and work on it. Once it's submitted, it's submitted. So if you accidentally press the button, you're like, oh, I didn't mean to. No, don't press the button until you're done, okay? Just don't do it. That means you're done with the quiz, okay? So, and I usually will start grading them once they are submitted because I want to try to get some grading done before the weekend as well. So just keep that in mind. But that's your midterm. It's pretty straightforward. I don't like exams personally. I didn't like taking tests when I was a student. So I try to make them pretty easy and pretty open-ended questions that you can answer that as long as you get in the wheelhouse, you'll be fine. Then the compare and contrast papers due. Please note it needs to be a rich text format, a Word doc, or a PDF file. No other formats are accepted for credit. So make sure you turn it in as one of these. You will get a chance to revise it once you submit your paper. Okay, you will get a chance to revise it. And next week, I'll talk about revising with the cause and effect papers after I've graded them. But you will get a chance to revise those. All right. And so then the textbook activity number 4, we'll go ahead and click on that and look at it. It basically, there's different activities for this one. You can skip the first passage in question that only has 3 answers, but you're going to write the appropriate transition for each sentence. Use only transition once for numbers 1 through 5. And then you're going to write the 4 space signals, 4 change of direction signals from pages 107 to 108. The illustration signals and the conclusion signals. So on these pages, 107 and 108, they'll talk about what those signals are, right? And then these 2 are probably, students think that these 2 are really easy, but they're a little bit tricky. So the very first is on page 111 and 112. You are going to organize the 12 sentences in order of chronological order, meaning from start to finish. What happened first in the story to what happened last. All right. And that sounds easy. And everybody does usually pretty well on this first activity, activity 4. It's this second one that students oftentimes get held up on. So on pages 112 to 113, you are ordering 1 through 11 in order of emphatic order, or the order of importance. So it's not what happens chronologically. You're going to pick the number 1. You're going to start out with what seems to be the least important and end with the most important. So you actually kind of probably want to work backwards on this one. You may want to, on number 11, put what you think is the most important sentence or the most important step, and then work backwards to number 1 being the least important. So be careful on this final activity. This is one that trips up a lot of students because they think it's really easy and they're like, oh, it's just most important, least important to most important. Seems simple. And then you can easily get yourself confused. So I always start with the last one with most important and work my way backwards. For me, that works easier. But some people like to start with the least important and work their way up. Whatever works best for you is fine. But on activity 5, you're doing emphatic order of importance. And on activity 4, you're doing chronological, or the order it happens in reality. And then the other 2 activities are pretty straightforward and simple. And then the final assignment is the grammar review. So if I click on the grammar review here, the grammar review is listed right here. So on this first activity, you're just writing, actually these first 2 activities, activity 1 and activity 2, you're writing the correct verb form that has been in parentheses. You're going to choose which correct verb form works. And then activity 3, you're doing the exact same. So that sounds simple. Choosing the correct verb form sounds simple, but I will say that in the region of Southern Illinois that most of us live in that are taking this class, verbs are not always used correctly. And I have that trouble a lot. My younger cousin's like, oh, you didn't say that right. I'm like, I'm off duty. I'm not the English teacher right now, so I can speak incorrectly and it's fine. But these should be easy activities, but they may be a little bit trickier than you think. So just kind of be careful on these for activities 1, 2, and 3. But it'll probably be pretty quick for you to get through. I tried to pick 2 activities this weekend for grammar and textbook that weren't hard. I wanted them to be relatively straightforward because I knew that you guys were probably going to want to get them done quickly so that we can have a nice holiday weekend. So that's the grammar review there. So yeah, that's Module 4. There are several assignments, but they shouldn't be hard assignments. It's just turning in your paper. It's just doing the midterm exam will probably take you the longest. The midterm exam and the discussion forum will probably take you the longest out of all of these. The others should be pretty easy to submit this week. And then I will be working this week on grading your cause and effect papers to get those back to you. And then for the Module 5 lecture video, I will talk about how to revise those. All right, so we'll talk about that next week. But as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I will be in my office on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. I'm going to be out Monday and Thursday. So if you need anything, please email me and ask. I will check my emails Monday and Thursday, but I won't be on campus other than Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But otherwise, I hope you all have had a great weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you all very soon with more for English 109. Bye.